The power of a smile. In the quiet town of Maplewood, where everyone knew each other by name, lived a boy named Daniel. He was 12 years old, had messy brown hair, and wore big round glasses that always slid down his nose. Daniel wasn't the loudest in class or the fastest on the playground. In fact, many kids barely noticed him. But Daniel had something very special, his smile. It wasn't a big or flashy smile. It didn't show off perfect teeth or sparkle like in toothpaste ads. But it was warm and kind, like sunshine after a rainy day. His smile had a way of making people feel better without him saying a word. Daniel smiled at everyone, even if they didn't smile back. He smiled at the lady who sold newspapers, the grumpy janitor at school, and even at the old cat that sat on the fence near his house. Most people smiled back. Some didn't, but Daniel smiled anyway. One Monday morning, something changed. Daniel walked to school like he always did. He passed the bakery, the toy store, and the park where he liked to sit and read. When he got to the school gate, he noticed a new boy standing by himself. The boy was tall, had dark hair that covered his eyes, and wore a backpack that looked way too big for him. He looked nervous. Daniel walked over and smiled. I'm Daniel." The boy looked up slowly. He didn't smile back, but he nodded. "I'm Lucas." "First day?" Daniel asked. Lucas nodded again. "You can walk with me if you want," Daniel said. Lucas hesitated, then followed Daniel through the gate and into school. That day, Daniel introduced Lucas to his teacher, showed him where to sit, and walked with him during lunch and recess. Lucas didn't talk much, but he stayed close to Daniel all day. By the end of the week, something amazing happened. Lucas smiled back. It was small and quick, but Daniel saw it, and it made him smile even more. Weeks passed, and Lucas slowly began to open up. He started talking to Daniel during lunch and even joined a few games during recess. He was good at drawing and often sketched cartoons in his notebook. Daniel liked watching him draw. Lucas wasn't the only one who changed. Daniel's smile, it seemed, had started spreading. The grumpy janitor now greeted him with a nod and sometimes even a smile of his own. The girl who used to sit alone during lunch started waving to Daniel. And one morning, the bakery lady gave him an extra cookie just for being a sweet boy. One afternoon, something special happened. Their class had a guest speaker, a woman named Mrs. Rivers who worked at the hospital. She talked about kindness and how it helped people heal faster. "Even something as small as a smile can make a big difference," she said. Daniel raised his hand. "How can a smile help someone?" Mrs. Rivers smiled. "A smile is like a light. It tells people they're not alone. When you smile at someone, you might be the only good thing in their day." That made Daniel think. Could his smile really help people that much? He decided to find out. That weekend, Daniel made a plan. He would smile at every single person he saw, at the grocery store, the library, the park, everywhere. He called it his Week of Smiles. His parents thought it was funny but sweet. "Just don't forget to do your homework, too," his mom said with a laugh. So Daniel began. He smiled at the tired man carrying groceries, the little girl crying in the library, and even the jogger who looked too focused to notice him. Most people smiled back. Some didn't. But Daniel smiled anyway. At school, more kids began talking to him. Even the popular kids said hi. Teachers smiled when he entered class. And Lucas? He was smiling more than ever. He even cracked a joke during science class that made everyone laugh. Daniel's smile was working. It was helping people. It was changing things. But then came the hardest test of all. One day, a new teacher arrived, Mr. Grant. He was filling in for Mrs. Benson, who had gone on leave. Mr. Grant was tall and serious. He never smiled, not even once. He wore a gray suit every day and spoke with a deep voice that made the class go quiet. Most kids were scared of him. Some called him Mr. Grumpy when he wasn't around. Daniel tried smiling at him. Every day, at the start of class, at the end, and sometimes just during a lesson when Mr. Grant passed by. But Mr. Grant never smiled back. Lucas leaned over one day and whispered, "He's like a stone wall." Daniel didn't give up. He brought Mr. Grant a cup of tea one morning. "It's from the teacher's lounge," he said. "I thought you might like some." Mr. Grant took the cup and gave a short nod. No smile. The next day, Daniel helped him carry some books. Still no smile. By the end of the week, Daniel felt tired. His smile didn't seem strong enough for Mr. Grant. "Maybe he just doesn't like kids," one student said. But Daniel remembered what Mrs. Rivers had said. You might be the only good thing in their day. So he kept trying. Then, something surprising happened. One morning, Daniel walked into class and found Mr. Grant sitting alone, staring at a small picture on his desk. It looked like a photo of a young girl. When Daniel got closer, Mr. Grant quickly put it away. "Good morning," Daniel said with his usual smile. Mr. Grant looked up. For the first time, he didn't look annoyed or tired. He looked sad. Daniel hesitated. "That's your daughter?" Mr. Grant didn't answer at first. Then he nodded. "She passed away last year." Daniel's smile faded, and he felt a lump in his throat. "I'm really sorry." Mr. Grant nodded again. "She used to smile like you." Daniel didn't know what to say, so he just sat there quietly. After a long pause, Mr. Grant looked at him and gave the smallest smile Daniel had ever seen. It was like a tiny flower growing through a crack in the sidewalk, soft, quiet, and full of hope. That moment stayed with Daniel forever. From that day on, Mr. Grant changed. He wasn't cheerful, but he wasn't cold either. He started smiling more, tiny smiles, but real ones. He asked students about their day. He told jokes, even if they were bad. And once, he even let the class play music during art. All because of one smile. Daniel's story didn't end there. As he grew older, he kept smiling at people. In high school, he volunteered at the hospital. He read books to kids and smiled at the nurses. In college, he became a teacher and told his students about the power of a smile. Years later, Daniel wrote a book called The Power of a Smile. It became popular in schools and libraries all over the country. People wrote to him, telling him how smiling helped them through hard times, made them feel seen, or brought them a friend when they needed one most. One letter stood out. It was from Mr. Grant. It read, "Dear Daniel, your smile saved me when I was lost in darkness. Thank you for reminding me how to live again. Never stop smiling. Mr. Grant." Daniel smiled when he read it, and he kept smiling every day for the rest of his life.